Well, firstly, welcome.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, I'm really pleased that you've agreed to do this. It means a lot. Especially when I look at the work that you've put out, and everything that you do feels really calm, and it's nice to be able to talk to you about how that's come about, because not everyone does that. You know, not everyone goes out and just takes these long, slow, colourful, calming shots. It's really nice for me to be able to talk to you about that.
Lovely.
What is it that draws you to those sort of scenes?
I think that once you've got the camera in your hand, you're just in that moment and really focused on everything that's around you, where you are, what it feels like. All your senses are alight, and all you can do and hope for is that you capture that moment and that it comes across in the photo that you take.
It seems like they're the moments that you're looking for.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
It is. I don't know if now's the time to go into it, but I use photography as a form of therapy. Mm-hmm. So when I'm out in nature, I find that the mind slows right down and I am really in that moment. And the fact that I love our state so much, if I can showcase our state and how beautiful it is and the moments that we have, then I'm really happy.
Well, that really shows through, and certainly the spread that you're getting on social media, a lot of people are picking up your photos and sharing them further.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. It's been very humbling. Yeah.
And so we're up here today at Mayana. The weather's not really played too nicely.
No.
And for those watching, how would you describe the weather pattern at the moment?
Yeah. Squally. Yeah, every time we've got the camera out, it's been squalling with rain. It's pretty windy. There's been a few snow flurries, but not enough to settle just yet. I love the snow, absolutely love it. Just changes the whole landscape.
Would you go very far afield from the hotel here?
I do. I travel a fair distance around the Central Highlands, take as many side roads as I can as well to get off the main roads. Love heading up towards the Central Plateau because you'll always come across wildlife there, the wombats and the kangaroos in the snow, and that's always nice. I guess this is sort of like a lot of people will head to Cradle Mountain where it's got the beautiful pines and the beautiful trees and the walkways there. But what I love about the Central Highlands is that it's just seems so much more isolated. You know, today, Pete, we didn't even see anybody. And that's what I love coming to these locations where it's not busy full of busloads of tourists. You have it to yourself and you can really appreciate the moment. It suits my kind of style of photography, which is to be away from the mainstream of people. There's just that, I don't know, I can't describe the moment that you have, and it becomes quite addictive as a photographer. Particularly with the astrophotography, I found that standing out in a shallow bay, watching an aurora or the Milky Way, and you're there by yourself and all you can hear are the scurry of the possums in the bush. There's just something so magical and it becomes addictive that you want to have that feeling again. When I'm driving around, I always have my phone on the compass and I'm always looking at south because I always want to try and find some new locations for the aurora shoots. So I've always got that compass set on the car while I'm driving around. You see a particular tree or a particular mountain, you think, oh, that'd be fantastic, and it's pointing in the right direction. Must come back.
And you're up here a lot?
I do come up here a lot. Yeah.
Do you ever worry about, if anything happens to you, about finding your way out?
I don't, but my mum and my children do. Because I do get myself into some situations and sometimes I question, why did I come down this road? But generally I try to be as safe as I can and I have the car fairly well equipped. It's always loaded up with lots of food, blankets, warm things. And yeah, I do bear that in mind because I don't want to be rescued.
No.
Not having worked in the police rescue, I don't want to be one of their clients.
No, that would be embarrassing.
Very. When it comes to framing, I think it's just intuition, just feeling what looks right as you look through the camera lens and going, yep, I really like the way that's framed. Everything is gut instinct, and I know that there's certain rules out there. They talk about the thirds, etc., etc. But to me, it's very organic, and it's just very much what I see, what I feel, and how I think that looks nice, and if that will come across how I'm feeling it. So to me, the rules I don't really take any notice, no. I don't have a technical background whatsoever.
Yep.
It's all just instinctive. I was a police officer for 32 years, and obviously you see and do a lot of things throughout that career, and probably the biggest involvement I had was with the Port Arthur massacre at the time. Worked the scenes down there for 5 days straight, did a lot of hands-on work back then. And over the years after that, I went on to work for another 26 years, very successfully, loved my job. And when the PTSD, I was first diagnosed with that, I was sitting at home, wouldn't leave the couch, was drinking too much. And I don't know what it was that prompted me to think about photography, but I think using the creative side of the brain for a change was really appealing. So I bought the camera, and I initially started taking photos with my phone and really enjoyed it, and then thought I needed to take the next step up, so I got the camera. And as a result of that, I've actually found that photography has been the #1 therapy for my PTSD. The fact that I get out into nature, I obviously don't like being in crowded places or being overstimulated with noise. And the photography has given me so much more purpose after having a career for 32 years and wondering where I would go next. So it's been an absolute, I would say, a lifesaver, an absolute blessing, and I'm so lucky that I found something that works for me.
Were your family worried?
Very, yeah. I had a lot of dark days. The PTSD was very severe. I was also diagnosed with dissociated amnesia and a few other things, all related just from a career of working in the police. You've always got that voice in your head, and the only time that I find that it really quietens down is when I'm focused on a scene. And that's what makes it so appealing and so necessary for me. So instead of the drinking, which I could have gone down, it's been the camera.
It was 6 months before you opened that camera for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that inspired you to open it up?
I felt that I was outgrowing using my phone, and that it was really time, if I wanted to get serious about taking landscape, it was time to use a proper camera. Yeah.
Okay, and where to from here? What do you have?
I've got so much more to do. Honestly, Pete, I only know the basics. There's so much for me to learn, and again, with the PTSD, learning is a lot slower. Having memory issues, to me, it's all about rote, having to do things over and over again. And I learn a lot better through having someone show me rather than actually watching YouTube or reading about it. But there's lots of things I'd like to try. I haven't tried macro. I haven't tried stacking, and there are a couple of things that I would like to have a look at. But definitely I love the astro side of it because I love being out at night, and I'd like to do more with the Milky Way as well. It becomes quite emotional at times when you see a particularly good sunset or sunrise and you're there with your camera and you're just going, oh my God, this is just unbelievable. And I'm so lucky that I'm here to still be doing that, because there are times there for a while that I may not have been, so it's all positive. Really enjoy seeing everyone's photography, but the photography that I like are the styles that I haven't done yet. And I love seeing what people can do. Like, you've got Tim Grimsey with his macro, just incredible work, and his videos are just top notch. Joy Conchina, she's probably one of my favourite photographers in Tasmania. She's another one that has that passion and love for the state, and it really comes through with her work. I just love her style. I love her passion. And she's probably one of my favourite Tassie photographers to follow. And then there's a couple of other ones there that we have, like Mark Sibley with his street photography. I really enjoy that. It's, again, something I'd be too shy to do, taking photos of people, but I love his style as well. That's who I really admire. King Pedro.
King Pedro.
He's a Melbourne-based photographer, and he does a lot of the city light reflections in the street. And sometimes he has his young son in the photos as well, and his work is phenomenal. I just love it, all the city bright lights.
All right, so let's talk about your first camera.
Yep,
What was it?
a Sony A7C. So it was a lightweight, smaller camera.
Yeah.
Yep, love it, still have it,
Yeah.
and yeah, good camera. I've stuck to the same brand because it's what I've learnt, yeah, which is the Sony A7 5R. Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, I've got three cameras all up, and they're all Sonys, and I think that's enough. I don't need any more.
Do you though?
I need more lenses.
Yeah, always need more lenses.
Lenses, yeah. My everyday lens that I use is the 24 to 240.
Wow, that's quite a range.
Yeah, I love that one. It gives me a lot of opportunities. So I use that one mostly throughout the daytime, and then have the Astros. And I do have one large telephoto lens that I've used for my sports photography when doing the Launceston to Hobart yacht races. It's a bit more challenging doing that with a heavier lens, and you're on an unstable platform. I've actually come out with a blackened eye socket from it, but I love it. Absolutely love being out in the boats and taking some action shots. Yeah.
Very different to what you're known for, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. But throughout my police career, I worked with Marine and Rescue for 9 years. Spent a lot of time on boats, very familiar with them. So I just married the two, the photography and my boating experience. I'm one of these people, wherever I go, I just wing it and hope that something will turn up and hope it'll line up. So I don't actually have a particular thing that I want to shoot and, oh gee, that'd look great with the Milky Way behind it. I just turn up there and hope that maybe something might happen. So I just wing it. I'm very much a wing it.
Yeah, that's good, because you're always surprised, aren't you?
Yeah, you're always surprised. Doesn't always work out,
Yeah.
but you can always find something. And that's the challenge. Even if you turn up and things aren't going to plan, it's what you can make of that situation and try and at least salvage something from there.
Given that you're still early into your photography career, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
It's been a lot of growth. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is actually the processing after of the photos. Initially, I would have almost thought that perhaps when I first started, I probably over-processed them to how I do it now and keep it more organic and more real to what I'm seeing. Yeah, less is more.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a lesson we all learn.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long as you're learning, keep learning. That's the most important thing. If you become stagnant, then that would be not very nice. Yeah. Yeah, certainly when the aurora's on, it always pays to look. Always do a 360 with those, because when you get the really strong ones, that's when you get Steve popping up over to the east or to the west. So sometimes when you're just focused on the aurora to the south, it's always good just to have a little look around. And then the big one that we had on May the 11th, looking up, that's the first time I've ever seen the vortex, the core. That was just phenomenal.
Yeah. And I think we all had that moment like, we've never seen this before.
No.
Yeah.
No. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.